Welcome to our first annual Daytime Emmys pre-show show here on JLJ Media. Hi, I am your ringleader and moderator, James Lott Jr., and I'm so glad to be here with you guys. And I brought three people I knew I'd want to do this with and nobody else. The person, maybe to the left of me or the right of me, however you look at the screen, is somebody I admire so much. He is a soap historian, soap author. He has so many books. I found him, and now he can't get rid of me. Gerry Waggett. Hi, Gerry. Are we having a frozen moment already? Come on, Gerry. Where are you?
Hey, James. I'm very happy to be doing this with you.
Oh, there you go.
Yes. Yeah, happy to be doing this with you.
Yes, I'm glad you're back also. And it was his idea. He came to me, and I was like, yeah, it's a great idea. Let's do this. Now, down below is somebody who I admire very much, also who's in the soap press, and who I always call him. He answers the phone or the message, wherever I do this for him. And he's wearing the hat that I told him to wear. Walker Ragsdale.
Hello, hello.
Hello. And
good to see everybody.
I know, it's so exciting. And then my girl from day one, because there's only one. Of course, you know us from GH Report, of course. And she has Believe in Soap Opera. She's doing really well. She has all kinds of stuff to do. My girl, Miss Lacretia Lyon. Hi, Lacretia.
Hey, guys.
Well, welcome, everybody. Hello. It's a strange time.
I'm still
here.
laughing at there's only one.
There's only one.
Yeah.
Literally, there's only one.
Because there is. I Googled it, and, you know, there is only one.
Only one, folks. Nobody else. We're all here in a strange time period. We're doing this from home, which is ironic because the Daytime Emmys is going to be done virtually also. We have no idea what it's going to look like. We have no idea what they're going to do. We'll talk about that in a sec. I first want to tell you guys, people ask me kind of the purpose of the show. Our purpose of our show today is to talk about what's the major categories. We're not talking about every single category in Daytime Emmys. Just the categories under the drama series. That is performers and writing, direction, and best series. We'll have some honorable mentions. We'll talk about some other things too, but that's just about, it's just this, that's what we're talking to. The show, the Emmys, will be on June 26th on CBS, so it's back on the networks. And I want to ask you guys your opinions about that. So I'll start with Lacretia first. What do you think about that?
I think it's about time. You know, it's one of those things that it's so weird that it wasn't on TV. When I did the red carpet one year, a few years ago, I was shocked to find out there that I'm like, wait, this isn't going to be televised? Like, because I think it was the first year that it became virtual, so it was a little kind of weird. But yeah, I mean, that's been years ago, and this is the first year it's finally on national television again. It's like, why? Like, all these shows are on there. These are all, for the most part, network shows. So why not on a network?
I agree. Walker, what do you think?
I think it's interesting. Like it's good. It's good that it's back, but I think of it more as business that CBS didn't have anything else to like air. They have nothing this summer. They have no new shows. Whatever new shows they're probably going to save in case they have to air them in the fall. So to me, it seems like it's more of like you know, we have nothing else to do, but hey, I think it's great. Maybe if it's this year, maybe they'll keep up the tradition next year.
It's like there's no Big Brother this season. There's no that kind of
There's
stuff.
no exactly. If it was a regular summer, I don't think this would have happened.
Like the story and soaps of ABC. That's all I'll say about that. Gerry, what do you think?
No, we are not going to do that.
I can tell you, my thing is, I mean, I'm happy it's back on TV, but you know what? I've always thought it was kind of an insult to daytime TV that they thought there was so much more prestige to showing this at night. If this is supposed to honor daytime TV as being a medium in itself, why was it so important for them to have it on at night? I actually prefer the Daytime Emmys when they were on in the daytime and was saying, hey, you know, we're honoring you during your time slot, as opposed to, oh my God, no, it's so much better that we're doing you at night as opposed to during the day.
I never thought that before. I never thought that angle before. That's actually a very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I never thought that angle. They used to be on daytime. They used to be. It's true.
Yeah. What the earlier awards were like little like luncheons, like afternoon luncheons that they used to just the nominees and at a hotel, you know, lunchtime, and people would just go do that, and then it turned into an awards, you know.
Yeah.
See, I
Although
like
June
that because my favorite
hot
time
in
to
New
drink
York.
is during the day.
Jerry?
Yeah, they would do it in Central Park during the day or on the ferry going around the harbor or something. And it was just like it just felt like this is, and it was a nice break from the normal like afternoon soap opera and or game shows and say, hey, well, you know what? No, take a break. It's just like we do with like the primetime Emmys. And it felt like we're on to you during your time slot, the time slot that you guys have made so awesome.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I never thought of it before. I like that angle actually. Do it during daytime, but I'm just curious to see how it's going to play out. That's something I'm just really curious about. Like how's it all going to play out? I watched the ISAs the other night, and I just want to give a shout out to my friends who won in the ISA. Carolyn Hennessy and Patricia Darbo. They tied, and they all went for Studio City. You can watch my kind of critique and stuff of ISA awards on my Studio City after show here on GLJ Media. You can go there and watch that. But it's kind of they're all nominated for Emmys too this year for digital drama stuff. So they're all nominated. But they well deserved. So it was interesting watching them how they did it. So the Emmys will be very interesting to see how they do this. And we'll all be watching, of course. Now they did not release the full reels, which they usually do sometimes. They release them. They released kind of little snippets and things. How do we feel about that? As an audience, should we be able to see them?
I think it's terrible.
I agree.
Because their excuse was it causes like issues in voting. What do you mean it causes an issue in voting? That people can see the full like. What are you worried?
Why would that be the issue? Yeah.
It's like are you worried that people are going to watch and be like, what fucking episode did you watch and vote for? And you don't want the block voting to be shown, that everyone just votes for their friends? Is that what that is? That's all that is.
Yeah. I love it. See, I love that. Jerry, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I first off, it's because a lot of times in the past, I've like, I gotta tell you, the one year I was like scraping the TV screen was when Jess Walton beat Jeannie Francis for Best Actress. I'm thinking, what did you show? And then I realized it was only because they showed this awesome scene with Jess Walton, who only had like a couple really good days that year versus Jeannie Francis, who had such an awesome year. And I'm thinking, it doesn't seem fair that you base, somebody's year's worth of work, which is what the Daytime Emmys is supposed to be, and you narrow it down to like, what, about 20 minutes? That doesn't seem fair to me at all.
Yeah, so folks, if you don't know this, it's a peer judging system, of course, and it's not really the best. It's supposed to be the best work of the season, not really the whole year. Well, it's not even a calendar year. It's
the episodes.
It's episodes. So like what, 2 episodes it is, isn't it? Like 2 episodes?
Yes.
Yeah, so 2 episodes. So a lot of times as fans are kind of going, well, wait a minute, this person had a huge storyline and carried it the whole time. But yet this person comes on, has 2 great scenes, and that's the winner. They can't be fair, right?
No, I mean,
Yeah,
can I say something like, I'm sorry, Lacretia.
I'm good. Yeah, I was going to say, like, that's why people wonder why Susan Lucci didn't win for so long, and it's because this is kind of the way it's done. She carried that show for a lot of time. Her and Dave Canary both were great, but yeah, to not see Susan get it for so long, and this is why. It's the way that they do it.
I agree with that.
Or I look upon like somebody like who is probably a great actor, but Kevin Mambo from Guiding Light, who he even admitted at a certain point he doesn't know how he won, because he said, I didn't even know I really had that much material in the course of a year to win, but he had like each year 45 minutes worth of work that was really good.
Mm-hmm. True. That's true. He won twice, didn't he? Back to back?
Yeah, he won back to back, and yet when you look back on his career, you're like, not a lot of people remember that he was good, that he's good.
The problem is that it's for the people voting. Like, they need to figure out a way where you can't do the whole year. Like, fairly you want, but for the people who are voting, I know a lot of people who voted. You're asking them to give up their free time to watch hours of, if you want it to be fair, to truly like judge everything, you want them to give up like almost 2 weekends worth of like sitting down and watching reels. So I understand why they do the two episodes. And some people, it's just luck or draw. You have better shot of picking better reels than other people.
That's true.
Which is why a lot of actors.
The Oscars, we're asking people to watch 50 movies a year, which is anywhere from 100 to 150 hours of film, and and then to make their votes.
Yeah, I feel like the Oscars more is like whoever sends you the DVDs. That's who really wants the. I mean, it is.
Yeah.
Who's going to send me the DVDs and the swag bag? I'm telling you how people vote, and this is true. Who's going to send me the best gifts? Who's going to send me the food, the flowers, the whole kit? Okay, so that's how.
Yeah. What you're saying is votes can be bought, and politicians should really think about that.
Well, hey, I got to tell you, one thing I really miss about voting in my neighborhood is when people used to give you the emery boards with the politicians' names on them. And, for the longest time when I was growing up in my house, I didn't realize you could buy emery boards. I thought you only had to get them at voting booths for your parents.
I love it. Oh my God, I love it. Well, it's gonna be interesting to see how this all plays out, and and sometimes they get it right in some ways, and then sometimes. So I'm not gonna go that far.
I was gonna say some names, but
me too. And I was like, I'm not gonna do that.
It's too early.
It's too early. I'm not gonna do that. But there's some people I was like, really? Not gonna. No, anyway, so anyway, but here's the deal. We're gonna start with the first category, and I'm so excited to hear what you guys think. I'm so excited. The first category is outstanding younger performers. So before we start, it's now gender neutral. Like they made it into one category. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I don't really like that because there's so many performers that maybe should have been in here, but because they condensed it into one, we're not getting as many people. And certainly William Lipton, I'm like, where is he? He should have been there. He was great.
I agree.
Yep. And in a similar vein, although he only had like half a year last year, is it Garrett Stitt, who played Oscar on General Hospital with the dying storyline of he also should have been up there.
Well, there's controversy about his performance.
Controversy, James? That's what the word you're using?
Yes.
I don't have a problem with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't feel like at this time there's enough talent to justify two. If you go back and watch someone uploaded all these Emmys from like 1998. If you watch those, it was like Heather Tom, Sarah Michelle, like it was actors. I look at this list this year, I'm like, girl, ooh, some of y'all got lucky.
Oh, and by the way, do you remember when this category was originally originated, what the female actors category was known as?
Ingenue, wasn't it?
Ingenue. And I mean, first off, I think it was the nomination of Andrea Evans as Tina Lord on One Life to Live that really said, no, she's no longer not true. But even looking like the first winner, who was Tracy Bregman as Lauren on Young and the Restless, who I love her, but I'm like, whoever thought she was either innocent or naive? No. But she was the first winner.
But I remember there's a problem too with like, okay, you have like they said, was it 25 and under? They later did that, something like that. And there are folks that are like 8-year-olds against 23-year-olds. Like there's like, I remember little Nate, I played Nate on Young and the Restless. Like he was really good, but he was up against somebody who's on General Hospital who's like 40 years old. There was some weird kind of like, they had problems with that. But you agree.
Yeah, somebody was saying that they should have had like even a younger, like for under 12s or now we just giving stuff away. Come on, people.
Come on, millennials, we want a trophy for everything.
But there were some good challenges like Kimberly McCullough, Robin on General Hospital.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. There's some that were that really were really good. I mean, they deserved some kind of nominations. You know, Martha Byrne, when she first started on Unnatural Turns, she was a good ingenue. I mean, she was good. So, I mean, so there were a few cases where it did make sense. But yeah, I think it's just so weird. They decided, I guess maybe you're right. Maybe there's not enough talent out there to do 5 and 5, I guess. I don't know. Of this category. So
was it done to condense the show? Do you think it was done just to make the show less long?
I wonder. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question. So the nominees are Sasha Calley for Young and the Restless. That's Lola. Olivia Rose Keegan for Days of Our Lives. Thea Maja for Days of Our Lives. Eden McCoy, General Hospital, and Caitlin McMillan for General Hospital. So let's discuss. Now, I feel like there's one person on here, 2 people on here should be on here, but that's just me. But 3, I don't mind. I don't know how you guys feel about this category.
Yeah.
Yes.
Eden. I mean, all the other actresses are, you know, comparable, but like Eden is the best. I love her. She's such a sweetheart. She's made that character her own. She is the pure embodiment of Carly and Jax. So kudos to Mark Teschner for casting her, but this is her. This is her year.
I can agree with that too. Gerry?
I can agree. I think actually, I thought even last year I wanted to see her win, but this year playing the death of Oscar and the aftermath, and also the confusion of being attracted to somebody after you've lost a loved one. I mean, she's just pulled it together. I also think with Caitlin McMullen, I kind of wish, I see her more as a supporting actress than a younger actress, you know, given the depth of her storyline. I kind of don't want to see her in this category because I almost think that even if she's in the right age range, her storyline just is a little bit outside of what the spirit of what this category should be.
I agree. Walker, what do you think?
I'm going to be disagree against all of you. I'm going with Sasha.
Calley?
Calla?
Yeah, Calley.
Calley?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
And her storyline was when she was sick, wasn't it? I think she was sick.
When she was sick. I didn't like the Oscar storyline. These are babies, so I'm being very careful with my words because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But it wasn't good all around, from top to the bottom. Okay. So Sasha, and was it Willow? Is that the one she's also young Willow? She's nominated.
Yeah, it's Caitlin. She played Willow. Yes.
Okay. Yes, Sasha.
I will say, see, I watched Days. I like Olivia Rose Keegan. I actually liked her crazy Claire.
Yeah, she's cool.
She's very cool. And we've met her, and she's really nice. I think, but she played crazy Claire really good. It's like, oh, okay, so you are Sammy's niece. Kind of like that. Kind of like, okay, a little cuckoo. I thought she did a really great job. And
I wouldn't be mad. She grew into that role. And even this next stint, I'm enjoying her more. So yeah,
Me too. I agree with you. If she wins, Eden's my girl, so I want her to win, of course. But if she doesn't win, I have no problem with Olivia winning. Thea Maja, of course, she's an Asian actress, and I thought great diversity. I just don't understand why she's nominated. I just don't really. I'm trying to.
I think she's nominated because they gave her such a politically hot spot topic with the whole immigration issue. Yeah. Although, unfortunately, it wasn't well integrated into the story, into the show itself. It was like, we're making a political statement.
And then they killed her. After the time jump, she was dead. They're like, oh, okay, well, thank you. There you go. Bye. Yeah. Only Asian actress on television. Bye.
That's what we really thought.
Yeah, I was like, really? If everybody could kill, you would kill her? Like, really? So that's just my thoughts on that. So now it's time for us to pick our winner. We do our predictions. So, Gerry, who do you pick?
Eden.
Okay.
Eden McCoy.
And I think I know who Homeboy is going to pick down there, Walker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually changing. I'm going with Olivia.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Lacretia?
Eden.
And I'm going to go with Eden also. But my caveat is if Olivia wins, I will not be upset. It should be good. So that's that one. Okay. And now our next one, we're going to go up to Outstanding Supporting Actor. And these are the nominees for that one. Okay, let's pull this out. Okay. Outstanding performance by a supporting actor in a drama series are Mark Grossman, Young and the Restless, Bryton James, The Young and the Restless, Wally Kurth, Days of Our Lives, Paul Telfer, Days of Our Lives, and James Patrick Stewart, General Hospital. So how do you feel about this category? Anybody can jump in. How do you feel about this?
This is the toughest category. Oh yeah.
Let me just point out a couple like fun trivia things. Is Bryton James?
Yes.
This is like another category. He's actually been nominated for Daytime Emmys under 3 different names. He first started off as Bright McClure. Then he did just Brighton singular, and now he's Bright James, which I think is his middle name. And Wally Kurth, I got to tell you that it's interesting. I don't know if people know this, but he's already won a Daytime Emmy Award, but actually for writing a song, Barefoot Ballet for General Hospital. So he's already got the award. Bryton James has got an award, but under 3 different. He's been nominated in 3 different variations of his name.
I love that. Changing his name all the time. And Tracy Beckman, she changed her name for a while too. And I remember she was going by Tracy Erect at one point, and they were like, "That's not going to work." So then she got Beckman Wrecked, and then she's back to Tracy Beckman. I remember that for a while too. Like Tracy Erect. So this category. So what do you think, Walker, about this category? You watch these shows.
I think it's an interesting category. Brighton, not surprised. Good to see Wally. Interesting for James.
Interesting.
Interesting for Mark. Not saying that he didn't do good work, but for a newbie to come in and get a supporting role, nomination your first year, my things have changed over there. That's all I'm gonna say.
Lacretia, what do you think?
Well, like to me, this is the toughest category because everybody in it has done so well this year. And I'll admit I'm a little biased. I've of course picked James Patrick Stewart because he's one of my favorites, and to me this was his best year. And he's kind of earned it because he's been around, and it's not like this is his first time on a soap. And he does good work, but like you said, Mark Grossman was great, but being like a first year, it is sort of interesting. But there was a lot of meaty stuff. So that's why I'm like, I see why these people were nominated in the supporting category, because like they sort of drove a lot of storylines, good or bad.
Yeah, go ahead, Gerry. You go ahead. I'll after you. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, with Mark Grossman, what's interesting is with this nomination is that Adam Newman actually becomes one of the very few roles on Daytime to actually earn nominations for 3 different actors. And originally earned, I think, a Best Actor for Michael Mooney, and also for Justin Hartley, the This Is Us actor. And now he's got the supporting role, although it also means a step down in what the character is. But I can say, with Lacretia, I'm really digging James Patrick Stewart as the multi-layered villain. I think he and Paul Telfer have kind of like they've done with Paul Telfer and giving him the sort of really villain, but with a good heart. But I think that James Patrick Stewart just does it so well.
So for me, it's interesting. I did the Mark Grossman. Yeah, he's good. He's doing a fine job coming on. I just think it's still too soon for him. Paul Telfer, especially, he has really made that character his own this go around, and he's really making it into this character who you feel for him and you want to slap him at the same time. It's like that's what you want. And him and Lindsay Godfrey have chemistry that's just like off the charts. Who plays Sarah? They're just off the charts. And him and Maggie. Him and their scenes.
Yeah, him and Maggie is the best. Yeah,
they're the best. He's so snarky, but also like this little puppy dog who wants to be redeemed on some level, looked at. He has some great scenes that are coming up. They'll be probably for next year with John Aniston when he was getting approval from him finally. It's like some great stuff, but that's next year, of course. Now, let's remember, with Days of Our Lives, it's pre-time jump into time jump. So it wasn't the stuff that's happening now. Wally Kurth, which is one of my buddies, I think next year will be his year because the scenes of Adrian dying were some of the best of his career. Period. He said that. I mean, it's some of the were some of the best of his career. I think Wally Kurth is very underrated because he's good. I mean, he's on both shows, just always good, always a good supporting actor.
He's a true definition of a supporting actor.
I completely agree with that, Walker. Completely agree with that. Brighton James. So here's the thing about Young and Restless folks. They submitted the death of Neil Winter's episode. So it's almost like I was liking it to when on Dallas the reboot, which was a horrible reboot. But the best
Even
episode.
though I was in it.
Yeah, I know. I watched every episode, of course. But the best episode was JR's death. And so it was kind of interesting to watch these people who were friends with him off camera act his death. So the same thing with this. It's kind of like, I know it's acting, and it was so good. So it's kind of like, well, how do you judge that on some level? Because Brighton was really good. I mean, in his speech, and everything. Same with Cal, good. I mean, they're all good, but they were all mourning the real guy, Christophe St. John. Yeah. And so I know those scenes. So it's really interesting. It's interesting. I just want to make sure people know that that's what it was for. And James Patrick Stewart, to me, is a revelation. He is just somebody. I mean, off camera, he's hilarious. He's funny. He's fun. Yeah. But that role could have gone so many ways wrong and so many ways down south. He has saved that role. He has saved the writing. He's saved the flip-flopping. They've saved, not making him a cast eye now and all this stuff. He makes it, and he has chemistry with everybody. It's just so bizarre. He has chemistry with everybody. He's saving that role to me.
Yeah, he is Todd Manning, David Hayward, the best villains that became sort of the character you root for. So that's how I see it. Is just like, yeah, like this is a character that I am very invested in. And I think that Paul Telfler will get there with Xander, because that seems to be where he's on his way. Like, I'm starting to watch Days, but yeah, I'm like, I like that character, the redeemable bad boy. But yeah.
Yes. Walker, what were you thinking? Was she saying that?
David Hayward and Todd Manning. David Hayward and Todd Manning. Valentine. I've enjoyed Valentine's scenes with my Sasha. I think he yes. So I've become more of a fan of his, but
and did they finally realize he was hot by pairing him in scenes with her and Brooklyn? And I was like, this is giving me some vibes here. Where are we going?
Yeah, Walker and I both. Yeah. I love Sasha. That's my girl. I love her. I mean, to me, they need to when they come back, folks. Everybody, General Hospital, don't give her a drug storyline, people. That's not.
No.
Well, cocaine is fun, but it's like. That would be a fun storyline. I mean, like.
Over Michael?
Yeah, I know.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, the over Michael part is like, yeah.
Go ahead and put it with Chase, and let's keep it moving.
Oh yeah, because those two look way better together.
Yes, pretty couple.
So now we're going to choose. We're going to stick to your choice. Who we think is going to win outstanding performance by a supporting actor in a drama? Gerry Waggett. Who are you picking?
I'm going to go for James Patrick Stewart.
Okay. Walker.
I'm going to believe that some people might think they're voting for Patrick Stewart or Jimmy Stewart, the actress. Which is why he had to use both of his names.
That's hilarious. That's it. But his father's a famous musician. He comes from a famous musical family.
Yeah. I forget if it's Chad or Jeremy. It's one or the other.
Chad, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Walker, what do you think?
I'm going with Brighton because of Neil's death and because there's so much real emotion and how beloved Christophe was that I think that will play in the factor in people's voting. But I would also keep an eye on Chandler because Chandler's always like that sleeper. People kind of underestimate him, but the Emmys love him.
No, he's not. He's not in his category. He's in. Where is he? Was he in this category too? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, he's in there. And who do you pick?
I know. I really want it to be James Patrick Stewart because I think out of all of them that he had some of the best material this year, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's Brighton.
So which one are you picking?
I'm going to go with James.
And same thing. I feel like the horse race is between those two. And so I'm going to go with Walker because of the Christophe St. John.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say Brighton. I just think that's gonna pull on the heartstrings of people's voting, I think. So.
And of the people who are nominated for that, he is the strongest. So we'll just leave it at that too.
Yes. Okay.
Well, I mean, one of the things like that I want to point out is because do you think it's more for Brighton in this category than Crystal Khalil as Lily?
Which you would think it would be the opposite because she had the longer, time playing with Neil, but he's a stronger actor.
Yeah, it's also, I want to say that what's interesting is that to just show how much beloved Christophe St. John is, that the Why Not tribute to him is actually also nominated for a Daytime Emmy this year as special categories up against things like the Macy's Day Parade.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
They deserve it.
Yeah, so, but I mean, I don't know, because but that's how much Christophe St. John, who I think is awesome. And by the way, quick trivia question. Christophe St. John's first Daytime Emmy nomination, what was it for?
Generations?
Yep.
That's right. Generations, that's right.
Earned nominations 2 years for Generations. And then when you were talking, Walker, about first year of the show, first year he was on Young and the Restless, he earned a nomination. So that's how good he is. He went from Generations, got to Young and the Restless, and then boom, also was nominated for that. And plus, people just love him.
They do. He was great.
He was one of those likable guys.
So I do, yeah. So okay. So I'm sorry, my thing got cut off. Yes, Chandler Massey is nominated for an Emmy for supporting actor. I totally forgot about that. It got cut off my paper. So yes, and I like Chandler. Chandler's won 3 Emmys. I mean, he's won 3 Emmys already. I mean, he's a likable actor. He's easygoing on the show. I just don't think the storyline
when he ain't sleeping through it.
Well, I was saying, the storylines of the Wilson storyline has not been the greatest.
No.
Oh, hey, you remember, like with him, I felt so bad for him. One of the greatest, funniest Emmy gaps is when he was nominated. I think it was for his third one that he actually won. When they actually showed the clip, but it was the other actor who replaced him in the clip they showed at the Emmys.
Oh yes, that's right.
And then he got up there. He was so gracious and funny. He goes, "Wow, I look a lot better on screen than I thought I did."
I love it.
You gotta love somebody who can roll with it like that.
I've actually held one of his Emmys before, so I just want to say that.
Ooh.
He brought it to you.
I thought we were going somewhere else.
I ain't done that. But I did hold his Emmy, just like I say there. And I do know one of his roommates. I'm friends with one of his roommates. That's another story. So let's move on to the next chapter, which is Outstanding Performance by Supporting Actress in a Drama Series. And this one's very interesting category. Tamara Braun, General Hospital. Rebecca Budig, General Hospital. Annika Noel, my girl, The Bold and the Beautiful. Christy Khalil, The Young and the Restless. And homegirl, Susan Seaforth Hayes, for Days of Our Lives. Very interesting choices. I'm like, okay, so what do we think?
Okay,
Tamara Braun does. Oh, yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, you know how I said that? Like, I thought that with I always mispronounce the name, Tia Meglia, being a little bit too political, shoved in our face. I thought Susan Seaforth Hayes this year. I thought what was a much more quietly groundbreaking storyline for her was when, as much as she hates Gabby, and with legitimate reason of Gabby killing her great nephew, when Julie realized that as much as she hated her, using racial epithets like, well, we won't even get into them, to diminish Gabby was wrong and apologize to her with that. I thought, wow, that's such an amazing moment, just politically and for character growth. Give her the Emmy. I know she's already gotten the Lifetime Achievement, but we did it for Ginny Cooper. Give her the Emmy for that one scene.
Okay, next.
Lucretia?
Yeah, like, to me, Tamara Braun and Rebecca Budig this year just delivered so much, and we're sort of given a raw deal. So I really am kind of in between the two because they had some of their best material on General Hospital that we've seen in a while, and because they've both been gone for so long, and for Tamara to come in as a new character that we were all really invested in, and then for them to kind of make her, you know, an unrepentant almost rapist, it was kind of odd. So I'm like, that girl suffered enough. I mean, I kind of hope we see Rebecca again, but I doubt we see Tamara. So maybe I'm leaning towards her.
Yeah, this guy
think you should show up with Franco's baby at some point.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Maybe. I mean, that'd be fun.
It'd be fun. For me, it's interesting because I did like Annika Noel's performance on Bold and the Beautiful. I've loved her performance as, you know, being told she lost that baby was heart-wrenching to me. It was very real. It was just and for her to come on and play, because I love Kim Matula. I was a huge Kim Matula fan. When she played Hope, I was a huge fan. And for Annika to come in, I was already judging. I was kind of like, okay, I'm not sure, blah, blah. But I felt like, because this storyline literally is based on that. And Wayne Brady played the doctor and the whole thing, and it's really interesting. And I just thought she had to pour those tears out. Like, she had to get them out. And to me, it was just really heart-wrenching to watch her performance. So if we go by that, then I would go lead her direction. Crystal Khalil, of course, saying goodbye to Neil / Christoph. Her being reluctant, not really feeling strong enough to do it, and kind of doing it, and just I thought that was very real. Everybody knows I love me some Rebecca Budig. I love her, and I feel like General Hospital just shafts her all the time. I don't understand why she's just not on the show. I mean, like, I don't understand at all. She's so good. She's such a great actress, always has been. I don't understand. And Tamara Braun she's always good. Again, made the most of that storyline. It was kind of like she saved a lot of that storyline to me. Then Cedar Sufrath Hayes, I mean, I love her to death. I mean, somebody, you know, of her stature, I was to say it that way, to still, you know, memorize lines, have front burner storyline, be out there with various people, showing the emotion. I mean, she's good. I mean, she really is good. Whether you like her, you know, her character or not. I mean, Julie's a little busybody and stuff, but she plays it so well. I mean, she just plays it so well. And she's not as Walker would say, she's not sleeping through her scenes. She's giving it all she got. We could just tell she's giving it all she got in her scenes. And I think her and Lamont Archie have this kind of cute chemistry of grandmother and grandson. And I kind of like that also. So I'm kind of torn. I'm trying to figure out who I'm going to pick before we pick. But I kind of like all of them in various ways.
This group is definitely why we should have seen like what all was nominated, because we're just going by what we know as watching as fans for the year, and then those brief clips of like, okay, what was the second scene? Like, what was your 2 episodes to kind of give me a full understanding? Because me picking someone, like, he had a great point about Susan Seaford. Like, that is such a timely, like, of someone coming to like opening her eyes and a new understanding. But then it's like, well, okay, I give her for that, but what if someone else's second scene was something that was super incredible that we're not thinking of? And so when it's close to say, like, you know, the other ones you can be like, okay, this person's going to win. That person. This one is like, I kind of wish we had all the scenes to kind of fully judge, because I think it's kind of hard to really make a fair choice.
I agree with you on that. Completely. And so you said, Gerry, you were saying that she has the Lifetime. Her and Bill, right?
Last year.
Right.
Last year, right?
I think it was the last year or the year before. They gave one of the longest speeches in the world where they listed every show they'd ever been on. But yeah, they had gotten the Lifetime Achievement, and I think that Jeannie Cooper was the only person who's ever gotten the Lifetime Achievement and then won a competitive Daytime Emmy in the soap opera categories.
And Tamara has one, of course, for Days of Our Lives. She has one for that.
Right.
Show.
Actually, Tamara has one for all 3 of her roles. Actually not for All My Children, but she's got one for Carly, one for Ava, and she's also the 3rd person who's played Carly, who's now gotten the second person who played Carly, but now also has gotten another role. You know,
on General Hospital.
An Emmy for playing another role.
Yeah, her and
because we also had Sarah Brown, who also got for Claudia Zatara. Yeah. And also now, and next year, Ian McCoy joins the group because she played young Carly in that flashback day.
That's right. She did. That's right.
Yeah, I guess if you want to win, get nominated for Daytime Emmys, you have to play Carly at some point. I'm going to say that poor woman whose name I forget, who was also on One Life to Live. The one who was between Tamara Braun and Laura Wright.
Oh,
Jennifer Bradford. Yeah.
Jennifer Bradford. Or Brad.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, who kind of came in and just never made it wrong. They pushed her out the door almost the day that she came in.
It was deserved.
Well, I don't want to be cruel, but she wasn't. I mean, Laura Wright just so completely owns the role now, so I'm happy with it.
I will say that. I'm just saying that some people aren't right for certain roles. Some people come in and they're good, and some folks they're just not good.
And just because some people have been in a role for years, don't mean they are good in the role still. So, she ain't that good. Sorry.
I love it. So now it's time to vote. So who do you pick for outstanding performance by a supporting actress in a drama series? Gerry Waggett, who do you pick?
Susan C. Fortes. And I also think because also part of it is like, if I look at like the way the people vote for the Oscars, a lot of times they either want the Cinderella story of the up and coming actress, or give it to the older actress who's been overlooked. And I think also what's kind of nice is this would be Susan C. Forte's 45th anniversary of her first nomination. So 45 years ago she was nominated. I think give it to her now. And I think the Academy they also like her because she represents everything the industry is supposed to be.
Walker, who do you give it to?
I'm going with Tamra, only because she has been on the most shows and who has the most co-workers still working in daytime who will be voting.
Ooh, good.
Because I don't know what the other scenes are, so yeah. I'm thinking political, and she has the most co-workers still working.
Good point. Lacretia Lyon.
I'd like to think it's Tamra just because of the material, but I actually think I'll go with Crystal just because those scenes were so powerful, and that's some of her best work in years.
I gotta choose. Oh my god. Okay, I know who I want. But I gotta think. I want Annika to win. I really do.
Oh. Okay.
I know. I knew you were gonna say that.
I picked Rebecca,
but I'd love to have Rebecca. I mean, but I just don't think she's gonna win. I think she's gonna win.
I don't.
I'm trying to think of like you guys strategically who's gonna win. I'm gonna actually go with Gerry. I'm gonna say Susan. I have a feeling they might go that direction. They may say, just give it, give it to her, and then she's done. Then basically she's done.
I feel validated.
You feel validated? I agree with you. I actually agree with you on that one. I do. I think,
especially if the other episode is her like waiting for the transplant and dying and all of that stuff. So you know what? Actually, I'm going with Susan as well.
Walker, I actually did hear that actually her one of her episodes was the reflective one with her and Bill doing a retrospective on their lives together, where he kind of like kidnapped her from the hospital, which is exactly what you should do with a patient waiting a transplant, and took her to his club, and they just kind of like had a nice romantic moment. So it was also like, it was reminding people of what she was to the medium.
Yeah, that's another, and that works too. People like nostalgia. They do. They like nostalgia. They like familiar. And they like familiar also. No one wants to think. Okay, so now we're up to some of the top categories. I love this. It says now lead actress. Okay, kids, lead actress. And this time it's not like 8 or 9 nominees they did in the past. I was like, 8 nominees for lead actress. Like, what? You just give it to everybody? Now it's down to the regular 5 as usual. So let's talk about these 5. Finola Hughes, General Hospital. Catherine Kelly Lang, The Bold and the Beautiful. Heather Tom, The Bold and the Beautiful. Mara West, General Hospital. And Ariane Zucker, Days of Our Lives. Woo! There's some folks I'm like, but there's some folks I'm like, yes. So let's start. What do we think?
Well, what's interesting about this category is the fact that some actresses are only up for like one role, where actually they submitted role scenes where they, from what I've heard, where they're playing both roles. Ariane Zucker is not just playing Nicole, but she's playing Kristen, posing as Nicole. And Finola Hughes, supposedly, from what I've heard, put in a scene where she is doing Anna in a scene with her twin sister Alex.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like, and we know that the dual role does kind of help make people think, oh wow, they have a range.
They do, except for when I mean Davidson didn't win that year for the 5 roles she played that one time. I was like, she should have won. That's no story. She won later.
Oh yeah.
Like, come on, girl. She's playing 5 different roles on Days of Our Lives. She should have got it. But I agree with you. They like a dual role. They like a David Canary. They like Erica Slezak when she plays the altars. They do like that. They do like that. Walker, what are you thinking?
So here's to me, it's 2 people for me. I think it's Heather Tom. I know we're not doing predictions yet, but Ariane is interesting because of the dual roles. The problem is it wasn't like if you are not watching Days and you're only watching those 2 episodes, how many people who don't follow Days know that she's playing someone pretending to be someone else? Like I don't think that storyline can translate so quick for people to know, oh, she's playing Kristen, but this is really Nicole, and Nicole acts like this, and maybe, but yeah, I don't know.
Lacretia?
You know, I love Maura and Finola, and it's just so hard because like Heather Tom and Catherine Kelly Lang too put out a lot of good stuff this year. And, you know, Heather Tom is one of those people that's quietly good in a way. So I almost would love to see something like that because Maura, like this year, of course, was great. But I feel like we got a lot better stuff the last time. And as much as I love her and always love her character, you know, if I'm being real, like her and Finola both, same thing, love them. But, you know, Finola's sadly suffered from a lot of like this things they make her character do. Yeah.
She should have been nominated many times before Finola.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's been years that she's been like, I'm like, oh, Finola, like, well, she's just not. This year, she didn't get it for me.
Well, so far, you know, Finola has an Emmy. Heather Tom has several, and Maura has several, and the only 2 who don't are Catherine Kelly and Ariane. For me,
Catherine doesn't?
Catherine Kelly doesn't have an Emmy.
Wow.
What's interesting about Catherine Kelly is she also had, here's a good question for you, trivia question I'll throw out to you. The first time Catherine Kelly Lang was ever nominated for a Daytime Emmy was one of those horrible, where like the fans call in and vote on the Emmys. Do you remember those when they used to do those?
Yes.
And she was like the hottest couple. Do you remember who she was paired with in the hottest couple category that got her that nomination?
I don't remember. Was it Colton or something?
Sean Kanan.
Mm-hmm.
It was not Ron Moss, which everybody would think. It's actually Sean Kanan as Deacon Shaw.
What?
Yeah.
I remember that. How funny. Okay.
Yeah, and also, what is interesting also about Kelly Catherine Lang is she's also been nominated as an executive producer of Venice, the digital soap.
Oh.
She has. I love Catherine. She's just so nice.
Yeah.
She's the Melody Thomas Scott.
Yeah, but she hasn't won one either. It's like, really? Like, hello?
What?
Melody Thomas Scott is not winning Emmy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And then given her the story, I thought that Melody Thomas Scott should have won for her MS storyline.
I agree. And I'm going with you guys. I felt Moira West should have won a year or so ago when Kiki died. I was a huge fan of that scene. But I won't give shade to Jacqueline McInnes Wood because I actually think she's an underrated actress. I think Jacqueline is really good on Bold and Beautiful. Like I love her character. I love the way she speaks. I love the way she carries herself. But I think she got a lot of flack. But I feel like she's actually a really underrated actress. Like she's really a leading woman on that show. And I love the stuff that's happening with her and Hope and Liam, that she's trying to turn over a new leaf and not be like her parents and not be like her mom. I kind of like how they're writing for her a little bit these days. So, but I thought Moore should have won. I thought hands down, it's just like, if you go by those scenes, she should have won. Like she just should have won here. Heather Tom is just a powerhouse. I mean, I remember I had her on my show once a long time ago, and she was like, I said, you were nominated 11 times, and you've won like 5 or something, like 4 or 5. She's like, yeah, but I lost like 6 other times. Like, it doesn't matter. You're that good all the time. Like, she's just always good.
She's that good that people still want her back as Victoria on Young and the Restless, and it's been like almost 20 years.
Yes, I agree.
She's also that good that she's been nominated for 3 different roles, and she's also won in 3 different categories. Basically, unless they start merging the actor and actress into another role, they're going to have to like invent new categories for her to win in, for her to win anything more than she's winning.
I mean,
Although, is she one of the ones who's, has she ventured into directing yet?
she hasn't gotten.
She's doing it now.
Yeah, she's doing it now.
Okay, so maybe she'll win for director one day.
Yeah, one day.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
basically, she's on the Erica Slezak track to being, you know, because she's young enough that she's on the Slezak track. She could actually overtake Slezak as being the most Daytime Emmy nominated performer.
So I believe
nominated and winning performer.
Because isn't Erica Slezak the most wins by a female, right? 6 or 7?
Yeah, I think she's won. Cause this was a trivia question that I had one time. I think she's won like 6 or 7 times. I said, what's more, the number of times Erica Slezak's won a Daytime Emmy, or the number of personalities Vicky's had? I think it's actually that Erica Slezak's won 6 or 7 times. I forget.
Yeah, her and
but she is. Yeah,
Tony Geary. Like her and Tony Geary have the most. I think.
Yeah.
Interesting. Ariane Zucker, I love her. I think she's underrated actress also. I think the material they give her sometimes you're like, what? And she makes it work. I think she totally makes it work. And so I think this year's stuff will be good for next year. I think she has some better work. You know, when she lost Holly and she got her back, and just things like that. I think there's some stuff coming up that I think would be a little better for her. But she's not one of those actresses who just, for me, I like watching her on screen. I've always liked her storylines. They always put stuff on. I mean, she's lost how many babies at this point? You know, all these things they keep throwing on her. But she seems to, and I remember I said this to Kathy Kelly Lang once. I said, girl, they throw stuff at Brooke all the time, and you make it work. You show us that she goes with James. I have to make sure I believe it when I play it, and that's what Kathy Kelly Lang does. She goes all in. You know. And so I guess with this Thomas storyline especially, she had to have that role of like the audience going, he's crazy. Come on, bitches, he's crazy. She played that role. I thought she did really well. So
I guess with Ariane Zucker, I mean, one thing about her, because I was not a big fan of her when she was first on the show years ago and paired with Jensen Ackles, and then they moved on. And then she left the show, came back, and I'm like, suddenly she was like, wow. So I think what you see with Ariane Zucker is the progression of how an actor gets better with a role or just in their skill over time. And she's a perfect example of how people just get better or can get better.
Well, you know, she's surrounded by people like an Alison Sweeney. Again, another one of those young actors who just was so natural at being an actor. She was surrounded by people like that who were really good. So she probably had to up her game a little bit because like these are folks, I mean, you can't go against Alison Sweeney and not be good. I mean, you have to kind of pull it together, I think. You know, so like right now, waiting for Alison to come back again on days, it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be good. You know, it's gonna be good. You know, she's so Sammy. You just know she's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. You know. So, folks, now it's time to actually pick who you're going to think is going to take home the Outstanding Performance by a Lead Actress in a Drama Series Emmy. So, Gerry, who are you sticking by?
Okay. First trivia thing I just want to point out, too, with Finola Hughes is that she had this weird storyline with the memory implant thing in the sci-fi, but she also won her first Emmy, her only Emmy so far, for doing what is, I got to say, one of the most outlandish sci-fi storylines with the ET storyline. And that's, I saw the clip. Also, it would be kind of ironic or weird if she did win this year because she wasn't able to pick up her Daytime Emmy the first time around because she had to be out of the country for what they call the family emergency. So it'd be kind of ironic. She could do the whole Joan Crawford, Mildred Pierce thing, okay? I liked her with the role.
For you and only you. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but with oh God, the Ava. I just went, her name just went out of my head.
Mara West.
Yeah, Mara West. With all the stuff she did, with realizing that she'd been sleeping with the man who murdered her daughter, etc. Yeah, I think that's another. So to me, that was the role of the year. Yeah, for me, it's Mara West.
Mara West. Okay. Walker, Texas Ranger, as Tony calls you. What would you gonna do?
I am going with Ari. Jackie won last year. I don't think they're going to give it to two B&B actresses back to back each year. See, I'm thinking strategically. I'm not. Yeah. So I'm thinking I'm going with Ari.
Okay. Lacretia Lyon is only one.
Yeah, I was gonna say Catherine Kelly Lang just because she hasn't won, and it is one of those things that they sort of just honorary give you something if you've been nominated so many times or been around. But now that Walker mentioned that, that is kind of their thing, not to go back to back. So I think maybe I'll go with Ari as well because it's also a little political and yeah.
I know, Walker, you woke my eyes up too a little bit. I think
Yeah.
you're right about that also. So I'm like, okay, well, I have to commit. Oh, I mean, my brain wants to say Catherine or Heather, but I think you're right. I think they're not going to. I think it's going to be. And I want to say Mara, but I don't think it's going to be her either. I'm going to go with Ariane. I want to say Mara. I do want to say it. So I'm like, well, we'll see. We'll see. I want to say that, but I'm like, I'm going by Walker's logic, and he's right about that. He's right. I'm like, they won't give it back. They won't do that back to back. They're not going to do that. Not at all. They're not going to do that.
Although,
But who knows? Like last year, no one thought Jackie was going to win.
what's interesting is if Ariana Zuka does win for the role because she was playing Kristen for Private, it's going to be one of the few. Actually, I think there are about 10 altogether where you've had one role win for two different actors, and it's going to be it'll have won for Eileen Davidson and now Ariana Zuka for playing Kristen part of the role. And by the way, if I could just toss out here, the one thing, we haven't talked about anybody who's like missing from the list, but I really wanted Stacey Haydick on this list.
Yeah, she made the role her own.
She's great.
I mean, she was, and whenever she had that scene where she talked about as Susan and chewing through her ropes and like showed the buck teeth, I'm like, and then on the same scene, she was doing, Kristen holding a gun to my lady's head and all this stuff. And I'm like, what range? I mean, I really want Stacey Haydick to at least be nominated.
Yeah, and I thought she was good. She may get it next year for some stuff that would happen this year. She may get it next year. You're gonna get it.
Then when she turned out to be a nun, awesome.
And her and Lonnie. So now we're to the category that's kind of, I'm like, oh, okay. Outstanding lead performed by an actor in a drama series. Let me read the nominees to you. Let me change my attitude. Steve Burton, General Hospital. Thorsten Kaye, Beautiful and the Beautiful. John Lindstrom, General Hospital. Jason Thompson, The Young and the Restless. And my buddy, Tail Pengless, Days of Our Lives. I'll let you guys all go first. So who wants to go? What are we thinking?
Okay, James, you're friends with Tal. I mean, I'm Facebook friends with Tal. I got to ask you something. He got his first nomination for playing both Andre and Tony. Last year, he was nominated guest performer for playing Andre. This year, lead for playing Tony. You watch the show a lot more than I do. Was there a lot of difference in time between how much you played Andre last year and how much you played Tony this year? Because it seemed to me, it kind of shows what's kind of wrong with these categories is because, I mean, was he on as Tony enough to really qualify for lead actor?
My thing is, to answer your question, because I do watch Days every day, obviously, that's what I do for a living. I think he's good. I mean, every scene he's good. He's fun to watch. I think he's a certain age. That's probably why they kind of did that a little bit. There was a storyline surrounding him, but I'm actually surprised he got nominated. I was like, he was good. He's always good. But I was surprised that I thought there were other actors probably could have taken his place. Again, I'm happy for him and all that, that's regardless. But I just thought, well, was it enough? You're right. Was it enough to be the actual lead actor of the show? Again, I haven't seen the reels, so I don't know. Maybe he had some really good reels. I just didn't, because he's always good in everything he does. But I just wasn't. I don't know. I feel like with you with that. I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure if he was completely deserving of lead actor of all the other actors that are on the show. I don't know.
Because I looked into it. I couldn't find out how many days you have to be on a show to.
Good question.
Move from being a guest performer, because they said a limited number of performances. I'm like, I thought he had a limited number, but
yeah, he wasn't on every day. He wasn't on every day, not at all.
Problem with days is with their taping schedule, it's hard to keep in mind of like what actually qualifies for that time period, because like, yeah, it's just that time period is so weird that what we're thinking of could be something that could be nominated for next year. Like it's just hard with that show.
And Lacretia, what do you think?
Well, I really love John Lindstrom. I mean, and again, if we go back to the dual roles, like Kevin and, you know, Ryan Chamberlain, there's nothing better than that. And John is just such a great caliber of an actor, and I'm so glad to see him in the lead actor category, because I was actually surprised by that I'm like, oh no, what they're using is him being pretty much on every day, which is usually reserved for Steve Burton.
Right.
But yeah, it is one of those things that it's like, yeah, Steve had some great material as well as Teo, and you know, Jason Thompson would probably be my second pick because of what they probably put in there.
Yes.
Just because he is very underrated, and I feel like it's time for him sometimes to get recognition, because even with Young and the Restless, before it went off, like we weren't seeing enough of him. And it is nice to see him nominated, and what they used, I think that would be him in a second place for me. But yeah, John Lindstrom would be my pick.
Yeah. And Lacretia, if Jason Thompson wins, it will actually be historic in the sense of the Emmys, because he will actually be the third actor to win for playing Billy Abbott, which will be also the first actor, I think, to win for playing three different roles. The first role to win Emmys for three different actors. The first one for David Tom, then for Billy Miller, and now for Jason Thompson. And by the way, can we also take a quick side note and realize that Billy and Victoria on Young and the Restless, who are the big hot couple, the roles were originally played, well, not originally, but played by brother and sister.
Yeah, I pointed that out on my podcast a few times, that it's like, as much as I love Billy Miller with Amelia, and that was great, it is still icky to know that both David and Heather played Billy and Victoria at a point in time.
Yes, kind of weird.
But Bill Bell, I know in his day, loved to dance around the whole incest issue. You know, with characters like Larley Prentice, and then with when you had Cricket dating Peter Barton, I forget his character's name, and then when you had Victoria, who was dating Eddie Peck, who so looked like Victor Newman's son. We had to believe, how was he not? But yeah, I thought that was just, so I thought that was actually kind of funny. Also, what was really weird about this year is, interesting, all five of the lead actors all have big General Hospital ties. You know, Jason Thompson was Patrick Craig, Steve Burton and John Lindstrom, Torsten Kay played Dr. Ian Thornhart on the Port Charles, and the first time I ever saw Tal Penglis was as Victor Cassadine on General Hospital, probably about a year ago. So this, and also Steve Burton, talk about like dual roles and stuff. He also last year played not only Jason, but he played twin brother Drew in flashbacks to when Drew was kidnapped in Afghanistan. So it was a very confusing type of stuff all around. And also Jason Thompson had lost, I think, one of his Emmys to Billy Miller playing Billy Abbott. So now it's the old case of can't beat them, join them, or become them.
Well, it's just funny to me that a couple of folks were nominated, and I was like, I don't think their work was strong enough to be nominated. So I don't know why they got nominated or how, but I just feel like a few of them, it's like, oh, your work wasn't that strong to be nominated. Maybe because you're in that category these days. Maybe that's how you got. I mean, but again, we didn't see the reels, so maybe they were extraordinary reels. I will give it to that. Maybe they were. You know, John Lindstrom to me, he's the winner. I mean, to me, he's been around for so long and good in everything he's done. And when he plays Ryan, he's the bomb. I love him as Ryan. He's so good. He really makes a distinction between Ryan and Kevin. I mean, it's a distinction. He really makes a distinction. That makes it good. You know, I would say David Canary did it best as Adam and Stewart. He did it best as dual twins. But I would say that John Lindstrom does a really great job finding those nuances of this is Ryan and then this is Kevin. And I think long overdue. No one of those just been around for a long time. Long overdue. Like, why not? He's consistently a good actor on a show. And so I guess we'll go into our predictions. And I'm going to start off. I'm going to say John Lindstrom. That he's a safe choice. They might give it to he's a safe choice, I think. Gerry, what do you think you're going to pick?
Okay, John Lindstrom and Ryan is, in his portrayal of Ryan, you got to hand it to him. Thank you. Okay. I will say, however, with Jason Thompson, what I read about his Emmy reel, one of the days was one of those when soap operas really do craft the show to give somebody an Emmy performance. It was like one where he was dealing with his addiction problems and people kept coming to the house. It was like a Billy-centric episode. So that really helps him in that way. I think he's going to win, but I really wanted to go to John Lindstrom because I just thought that his portrayal of Ryan, it's funny because I love Ryan. I love John Lindstrom as Ryan and Kevin. I love Judy Francis. I don't love them as a couple. But I think John Lindstrom deserves it. But this is one of the cases I think it's going to go to Jason Thompson.
Jason Thompson, okay. Walker, Texas Ranger, what are you going to pick?
Well, I want to say my friend Jason Thompson, but selfishly, I don't want him to because I want to be there when he wins his first Emmy. Selfishly, so I'm gonna say either Jason or John Lindstrom.
Which one?
Yeah, I know. That's the thing is it's between those two.
It's tough. You got to pick.
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Jason.
Okay, Lacretia, your turn.
Same thing, and we've all been saying is like, Jason and John are the two, but I think I'll slide a slight edge to John because of the dual roles.
And if Jason Thompson won, I would not be mad.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. So now
I love Billy.
Yeah, we love them. So now we're going to our last three categories. They're the four soaps. So I'll say the category. We know it's the four soaps that are left. That are all nominated. So there's outstanding writing. Now, so we know there are 2 episodes they're picking for the writing. My opening question though is like we kind of answered earlier. It should be for the whole season, right? We should look at that overall, right? But I know it's hard to do, but should it be the whole season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not fair to say 2 episodes because anybody can put together like one good hour of drama.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But the whole idea of soap opera and keeping it going is something that can sustain people for months at a time.
I agree.
Yeah, because that's the thing is I think General Hospital picked the Christmas episode, which was really good. And it was different. I always like when they do special episodes like that. So I totally see why they would pick that. But sometimes there was a lot of lulls, but it was sort of that way with all the soaps in a way too. But like, who I think is a consistently great writer, like Ron Cavalardi, Days didn't, I don't think, pick that spectacular other than, they've had those episodes here or there that are big things, but they're more like an everyday soap.
I think I like Ron as a writer a lot. He uses use of history. He will bring in some characters you're like, ooh. He will do that. When he wrote for, to me, one of his greatest creations was the character of Leo. I thought Greg Rickhart did such amazing scenery chewing start on that show. That was so much fun, and wrote him like a regular gay guy that I know. That it was like, I was like, that's a revelation to me because the other gay guys on the show are so just like mayonnaise. I was like, now we got somebody who actually walks and talks like somebody I would see on West Hollywood and Santa Monica Boulevard. But he does write history. He pulls into history and stuff, and I think his time's going to come because the time jump thing. I think that's going to be something next year.
Yeah.
But I think I know what YNR is part of this Neil stuff. I almost am thinking they're going to lean.
But
I don't know.
But
right?
that's not like writing. That's
right.
So that's my thing with even with GH. It's that. So writing wise, I'm going to give it to Bold and Beautiful. Just by process of elimination. GH directing. That because the Christmas is like that was directing wise, it looked really good.
Yeah.
On paper, and for YNR for I'm sure it was emotional doing the writing but it was. I just don't think that's writing.
But see,
I don't think they get it.
Your thought about the political part of this. I'm trying to go by that. So I'm just thinking, what do you think the voters are going to they're going to look at?
Well, I don't want to jump to my best show, but
right.
I think obviously they're going to win that for that show. And usually traditionally the show who wins writing and directing usually wins that show. But I'm going to give Best Writing to B&B.
So you're doing okay. I'm writing right now. You're doing Bold and Beautiful. And even though, I mean, I like to write Bold and Beautiful. People got criticized because they do like one storyline at a time these days. Like they do one storyline, they do one storyline, do one storyline. I like the writing. I actually do like the writing. Gerry, what are you thinking?
Okay, I love General Hospital, but I got to tell you, the writing here really, a couple things. Number one, too many twins, okay, got confusing. Also, too many storylines begun that never finished. Like, we had the storyline, like Anna, there was some big revelation that Anna had maybe been implanted with the memory. We didn't know if it turned out that Robin wasn't really a dog, whatever. Never got resolution. Unfortunately, General Hospital has done this a little bit too much of starting these storylines that just never get any resolution. So the writing, no. I think the time jump, I would say, is a writing thing. And I would say that I'd give it to Days because it was really interesting. I also think, again, trying to know what they did in terms of storyline. But I think in terms of emotional heartstring, the Bold and Beautiful's, Hope finds out her baby's dead, finds out her baby's alive, okay? Which is also the new things out because of time. General Hospital did this whole stretch out. For some reason, the baby switch thing on General Hospital just went, I don't know what it was about it, but it was just a little bit too convoluted, a little bit too stretched out. By the time it got resolved, it was like, oh, thank God this is over versus what a great moment. I'm going to go for the writing for, if they use the baby storyline, Bold and Beautiful. Otherwise, I'm going to skip Days of Time. I'm going to say Bold and Beautiful for writing.
Okay, Lacretia.
I think I would probably have to go with Bold as well, because like you say, I think next year is Ron's year for Days. And to me, like you say, it's one storyline. It kind of makes it a lot easier to deal with one at a time. So you are going to get your best stuff.
And General Hospital doesn't deserve writing or directing or best show.
I love it. This is the Walker I like. I'm going to, I think it's between Days and Bold and Beautiful. And I'm going to go Bold and Beautiful. Now, so we talked a little bit about directing and best show. We'll go right into directing. So, I mean, I think let's go into what we think is going to win directing. So, Gerry, what do you think is going to win directing?
Okay, I'm going to go General Hospital because A, the Christmas show was awesome, and B, I'm thinking that they probably used one of the episodes of last year's Nurses Ball, which is always, I mean, a beautifully produced variety show. And in such a way, no, do I think that a bunch of amateurs could ever put this together? No, but it looks great on TV, okay? And I think that, if they use that, and also maybe if they use one of the shootout scenes, they also do a great job with that. I think, honestly, and also in terms of directing, etc., set design, if that factors into it. With General Hospital, actually, you get to see people's homes, like from the porch angle, as well as the hall, etc. The sets feel like they're real, okay? But I'm going to say, just in terms of directing, General Hospital for like combination Christmas, and if they had ever used one of the Nurses Balls episodes.
I'll go with your thing and say that Bold and Beautiful does a good job too with coming with sets also. So they actually all kind of do good with sets nowadays. They've all upped their ante with the sets. Because Bold and Beautiful really feels like Los Angeles to me. Like it really feels like they really do a bunch of different things. And Young and Restless always had top-notch quality shows.
Okay. Yeah, the Los Angeles with no color folks.
Well, there's that. Or gay folks in fashion, but there's that also. That's in a whole nother show, Black Lives Matter. But then on Days of Our Lives, they did change some stuff around. I mean, so they just start to kind of open up the Horton Town Square a little more, and we see more offices and stuff. So but with direction, I'm gonna go with your house too because it was a special episode. I just have a feeling they're gonna like the film's gonna like it. Walker, who are you going with?
Well, I just checked to see who was nominated for directing because Francis over there does not deserve a directing nomination or his job. So I'm not going with them. Sorry. So who in any of the other show, Any, Meeny, Miny, Mo, Young and the Restless.
Okay. And Miss Lyon, who are you going for?
Yeah, when it comes to directing, I mean, I'm sorry, General Hospital just really does it so much better. They just have have a way of doing things, especially when it comes to special episodes like the Christmas one, or if they use maybe a nurse's ball too. It is just a special thing. I mean, and yes, this, we have some poor choices like outside scenes, but I bet they haven't chosen those. So I would have to say General Hospital.
Okay. Now here's the big one, folks.
Yeah, one thing I want to tell you though is when you were talking about loving Leo, is the costume designer for whoever came up with Leo's suits.
I love them.
Because the suits Leo wore were amazing.
Love them. Love them, love them, love them. And I talked to him. He had a blast playing it. So, I mean, he's not one of those actors who's really good. I mean, he's good as Kevin, too. He's another actor he's natural. He's good. But you could tell when he played Leo, he loved it. You could just tell he loved it. And bringing Gene Chapman on.
It's what he always wanted to play. I mean, he's been vocal for years on Young and the Restless that he felt that Kevin should have been gay. And that's.
Yeah. So you could tell he loved playing it. Best show, Bold and the Beautiful, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, or The Young and the Restless. What are we thinking, and what are our picks? Anybody can start. Anybody start first.
There's a reason The Young and the Restless has been #1 for years, and a lot of it is that they make good choices when it comes to submitting to things like this, or like with the classics. And I know they used, of course, the Neil funeral episode. So, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to The Young and the Restless.
Right.
They deserve it just for the classics alone.
Yeah.
They deserve every Emmy for just based on the classics.
Oh, my God. I'm watching them. I'm loving. I'm like, this show was really good. Like, it was always really good.
Mm-hmm.
So, Walker, are you going with Young and the Restless? Or who are you going with, Walker?
Yeah, definitely not General Hospital. Some heads needs to roll over there, so they didn't lose everything.
And Gerry Waggett, who are you?
A new regime change.
Okay,
I'm calling for
I'm going to vote. My vote is going to go for Days of Our Lives, just because I thought that whole time jump was a pretty inspired decision to give us something that a lot of times when you watch a daytime soap, you watch it every day, they lose their ability to surprise and shock us. But by jumping a year in the head, they could throw in all these shocks that suddenly, like, okay, Kristen's a nun, or Justin is with Kayla, and I guess Adrian's dead, and it's like, and I think that was just a kind of a cool, and even the way they did it with the hourglass and looking at it. Though again, for jumping ahead, they didn't predict the coronavirus, but I think in general it was such a cool, daring choice. I give it to them.
See, I think they might get it for next year because the stuff is playing out now. I think they may get it for next year because I agree with you. Time Jump's amazing, but I think they may get a better chance because now the stuff's playing out, and the way it's playing out is very interesting. They're not giving everything away right away, and we're seeing all these shocks. And so, but I agree. Time Jump was inspired, like Bobby in the Shower, making that season a whole dream season on Dallas. That was a shock. I mean, or Desperate Housewives going 5 years ahead. They did it. It's like there are times when it kind of does work. It's tricky and ballsy, but the time jump thing, I remember I was watching in real time going, what? It's been a year, and then that was it. We didn't know what was going on. So for me, not General Hospital, not Days. But see, I really liked Bold and Beautiful this year. I really did. I'm sorry. I'm one of the people that feel I liked Bold and Beautiful this year. I liked the story. I think Matt Atkinson was great as Creepy Thomas. I like the conflict that Brooke and Rich had to go through. I love me some Shauna from Denise Richards. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to go with Bold and Beautiful. I'm going to be very different on Bold and Beautiful. I just think overall there's a lot of fun stuff that went down, and the only thing they ruined was the Sheila return. But I know that Kimberly Brown was running for office. Whatever. They ruined that whole thing. But other than that, and then with the Brooke and Quinn going back, I like that also. So I was kind of like,
yeah. Well, we got 3 weeks of that and 8 weeks of
Baby and Thomas.
Oh, good God, mine.
I know a lot of folks like it. I didn't mind, and also the kid who played Henry Sammy, who plays Little Douglas, is a fine. He's a good little actor. I think he's a good little actor actually. Of all those little actors out there. So I'll go Bold and Beautiful. It'll be very different. I'll go Bold and Beautiful. This is the time now, as we're coming to kind of a little bit of a close, we're going to talk some little special mentions. And one of the things that Gerry brought up, because they also round up episodes, was Jeopardy round episodes. And Alex Trebek, of course, is sick for the most part. He's doing okay, but he has stage 4. How do we feel about, I mean, should he be getting Emmys this year? Do you think they'll be giving him stuff because of this?
Oh, definitely. I mean, on top of which, I mean, he's, first off, look at what he's working under and being this sick and coming out. But I'm even like watching episodes from the season and stuff and realizing that he always, maintains this wonderful sense of, having his own personality, being kind of funny, et cetera, but never getting in the way of the questions and answers. And he's a perfect, I mean, daytime game show host, or a game show host, because he's got that. He's funny, he keeps the show moving, but he doesn't get in the way of the show. And yeah, I think, and once you realize what he's up against, yeah, I'm really hoping he wins.
Get it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any competition. Alex Trebek is the game host. That man has the utmost professionalism while still maintaining a personality and making it about the game. I mean, I've never seen anyone do that as well as he does. And to do it every day, going through what he is, it's like throw all of them at him.
He's very much in the vein of Bob Barker, that kind of thing, where they're good at the game, but they're also, you know who they are. You know who they are at the same time. And that's us as hosts. We know that balance of interjecting our personality, but also doing a job and like presenting. So it's some folks don't do it that well, and others do it really well. It's a tightrope, which I'm gonna lead into, because I want to briefly talk about these people. So talk show hosts. Are any of them really that good? I'm just like this one. I don't really watch half of them. I do watch The View for the craziness. But like Whoopi was like, she's just there because she's getting a paycheck in the restroom or whatever. And then you got The Talk, which you can't pay me to watch that show. And then you got The Real, which you can't pay me to watch that show either, but they all hate each other. So is that a legitimate Emmy category these days? I mean, what's going on with the talk show people?
I don't know.
I know I guess we'll say. Look, you should go first. Oh, no, you go first, then Gerry. Then you go.
Okay. Yeah. Like, so the thing is it's so hard to really like a lot of hosts because, like you say, it is a balance. And so many of them are actually acting. They're playing a character. They're not being themselves, as opposed to people like Alex Trebek, Wayne Brady, Drew Carey. I mean, Katie Couric was really good at that. I was trying to think of a woman. And that's one thing, as someone who's been to The Real like a lot, because they pay their audience because you have to get up so early for the live ones. And I live next to WB, so getting there at 6 a.m., a little industry secret, not that bad. But yeah, I will say I actually really like and respect all the women on there, because like it is hard to do what they do. They do get up early, and they all actually do seem fairly genuine. They don't always say the popular thing. So I give The Real a bit more credit. And same thing with The Talk. The show itself is boring, but all those women individually I like in a way. And especially like hosts of past, like Aisha Tyler, love her. They have some really good, smart women. It's just not a well-directed show. And I think they're afraid to let them really say anything. So calling it The Talk is kind of lame. But individually, I think these people would be fine if they were allowed to do whatever. But yeah, stuff like The View, that's just trash. I mean, it's all acting. It's all like, it is what it is.
Now, if they asked me to come on The View, I'd come on, of course. I mean, I wouldn't turn it down.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I'll be their host.
I'll be on there. I'll be the male. Oh. But I watch it just for the craziness. Gerry, what do you think?
Okay, well, first off, I'm shocked that Maury Povich is nominated. Okay, I mean, is it just for his way he could still maintain the way you are not the father? Yeah. I also think that in terms of like the talk show categories, I'm not sure that everybody should be splitting it. That it should be for all the women on The View. Okay, I think Whoopi's very good. I used to like Joy, but I found that, especially, I can tell you, when they were, without getting too political, when they were hosting Donald Trump Jr. on the show, and jumping over, not letting him finish sentences, etc. I'm like, okay, you have the guy on the show, let him talk. I think Whoopi is very good. I don't think the other hosts are as good. I wouldn't mind Whoopi being nominated. I'm not sure talk show hosts should be nominated as a group or collective versus, individually. Just like, I do kind of like, say, Kelly Ripa, more than Ryan, okay? But unfortunately, I don't think we have a real, we don't have a Phil Donahue. We don't have an Oprah Winfrey, or even like an early season Sally Jesse Raphael, who brings on people with interesting topics and really explores a topic for an hour, okay? So yeah, and also, and then they have like the weird delineation between talk show informative versus talk show news, and what makes one news versus the other, okay? So I think they really need to look at this category. Right. Yeah, and which is why, like Rachel Ray, why don't just call it a cooking show, Because that's what it is.
I think it is, right. But she's but yeah, Valerie Berdelia's cooking show, she's nominated, she won Emmys for that. But Rachel Ray, which basically just cooks most of the time with guests, I just think, I'm just wondering, because, I'm a host. I'm a host. I mean, I love it. I want awards for as a host or whatever. I want that. I'm just curious, and I was just curious in the climate. What are you thinking, Walker, when we talk about this?
I don't watch game shows or talk shows, so I'm yielding my time because I don't care.
Thank you, Megan McCain. Okay, so
I stand what I say, so I'm not backing back and like, oh no, I didn't say that. I said
you said. That's right, exactly.
I said what I said.
I know. I stand by my stuff too. I just think it's just kind of like I said. Not all the hosts are good, and how many times can you nominate Ellen? I mean, she's kind of juice, but that's another story. I'll say that.
That's acting too, huh?
Yes, acting too. So it's like everybody says she's horrible behind the scenes. I don't know, allegedly. Should I say that? I don't know what's going on there. I don't know her. I really don't know her. So I'm not a fan or a detractor. So I have nothing to gain with her at all whatsoever. And the last thing I just want to mention, because it is getting a big deal, and I just watched the ISAs. It's a digital drama series. It's now becoming a little more major in there now, and the shows are getting better, and the show productions are getting bigger. And there's a lot of nominations there. So I mean, how are we feeling about digital dramas these days? Are you guys watching any of them? Are you friends with anybody on them? Like, what are we doing?
I love Studio City, but I love Sean. I love what he and his wife have done with that show. I mean, Carolyn's character is based on Gloria Monty, a lot of it. So and it's very much a soap opera fan show, but it's also like more of a gritty cable sort of thing. And so, Sean really stepped it up with that show. So I'm glad to see it getting the recognition, because I was surprised by how much I liked it.
It's good. It's good. Are you watching anything, Walker? Anybody?
I'm not, but I love that there's a place and that they are getting the respect that they deserve. I think I just feel bad because there was a lot of good early shows that kind of came in before, I guess, this category really got popular. Like the one I'm thinking of is Tainted Dreams. It has like a huge cast, great show. I may have been on it. I may have helped on it. So that's why I say it's a great show that should have been nominated. But no, I love that there's a space for people to create. If you don't like what's on TV, you can create what you want, and to get the respect and recognize.
Yeah, no, we're talking like early years when Venice first came out 11 years ago, and Anacostia, my buddy Anthony Anderson. There's some series that are really good out there. They are getting recognition on this platform, at least. They're finally getting some recognition. And we know the Bay. The Bay gets a lot of recognition, of course. Our buddies over there. But I'm happy for my guys at Indoor Boys. I'm happy for my Alice J. Wise and Wesley Taylor. They won a lot at the ISAs, but they're doing very. And also, it's funny because they're employing actors in the soaps. Yeah. Like Beacon Hill, Venice, Bay, all that. So, Gerry, how do you feel about that? Because you've been around a long time. You know how this goes.
I love it. I know that, when people are talking about the fact that soaps are dying, I said, no, maybe this is going to provide them a new medium. And when people talk about the crude level that soaps on radio and early TV soaps used to be at, I said I think people can take crude level if you provide them with a good storyline. Beacon Hill I haven't seen. I really hate the fact that we had one season of Beacon Hill we waited so long for a second season that they wound up recasting the top 2 leads. Okay, I saw, a couple, scenes of it, like in the clips. I'm like, okay, I live in Boston. This isn't a Beacon Hill I've ever seen. I've seen things like, but I also love the fact that, platforms like Amazon Prime are picking them up, so you can actually see them. So you don't have to like hunt them down, okay? And that, you can actually, that they have like, they're sort of like independent films. Though are they really soap operas? Because it's a different format, because it's different doing like 10, 20-minute shows in a year versus trying to put something out over the course of a year. Or are we just talking about a long movie, that continues? But still, no. Maybe as they pick up steam, they'll be able to expand their platforms. And it's also still giving a lot of work to people who are in the medium, and the fact that people are working in them who also have, like Carolyn Hennessy and Mary Beth Evans, who are working in daytime. And that the fact that they think it's important enough to actually do this says something that this may be the new realm. And what really is the difference between that and when One Life to Live and All My Children came to Prospect Park, shown on Hulu?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm encouraged. I mean, I'm on a couple of them, Broken at Love and a few others. And of course, this network is going to be premiering Forever and a Day, which is going to be one of the first podcast soaps. We're bringing it back. And I have another series premiering on here called Fairview Heights. So I'm working on some stuff. James Lott Jr. is working on being the producer and stuff.
Always working.
You know me, always doing something. But we're taking, I call it old school ways and new school technology. We're taking the series and bring them back on the podcast world, almost like radio. They started. That's how they started a long time ago. And so it's very interesting to see that the soap is not dying. I mean, the soap isn't dead. All the nighttime shows are soaps, basically. They all have the soap format. They're all doing storyline arcs, do cliffhangers. That was all soaps, kids. That was all. Friday was a soap cliffhanger all the time. And now soaps do that and now nighttime shows do that every week. So it's kind of like, it's morphing into other things, but the soap will never really I'll so I'm happy with the digital soaps. I'm glad they're doing stuff, and they're actually casting people in things that we don't see on the regular soaps. More people of color, more people. Pride series. It's a gay series. My guy Corey Knott's doing like 10 different series. I mean, it's just people. My friend Joseph Goncalves has Unconditional Love. They're showing locations like Baltimore and Boston, and they're showing cases we don't see very often. It's very interesting. I think it's an interesting time. I remember when they first came out, there was these little web series things, and now they're really becoming better productions and better and stuff. So I'm very excited, and I just like they're giving work to people like a Tristan Rogers or a Carolyn Hennessy or a Jackie Z, or people who are not working on anything else. They get to work on something still and have their craft. What's her name? Hillary B. Smith is directing episodes of Beacon Hill. I mean, she's actually doing stuff behind the scenes, and I just thought that she had Scott Bryce on, who I love. Scott Bryce, another great actor of yesteryear. And I think it's this wonderful medium to show people that, soap actors on a whole are really good actors. I mean, that's the kind of, they get such a bad rap. Yes, there are bad actors in there, but there's some great ones too. And all that dialogue and all that they have to deal. I mean, it's the pacing. Nobody else could do that. Nobody else could do that. And so I think it's good. So that's our Emmy pre-show special, folks. We did it. Thank you, guys. We will be back next week after the Emmys and do an Emmy post-show recap. I'm very interested. I'm very, very interested to see what they're going to do and how it's going to play out. On CBS, I think at 8 p.m., I think it is. I have to make sure I check that again. I meant to check that. I forgot when. But on June 26th. So my fingers are crossed that it's going to be decent. Well, I hope my fingers crossed. Come on, CBS. Don't crap out on us. And everybody, so tell folks where they can find you if you want them to find you on social media. I'll start with you, Gerry. Thanks, Gerry, for being on the show. Where can they find you?
Oh, thank you. Excuse me?
Where can they find you online?
Actually, just Facebook right now. If anybody's interested, I'm on Facebook.
Facebook. Gerry Waggett. You follow him there. And of course, Walker, thanks for answering the call for me. Where can they find you on social media?
I forgot what my Twitter is, but just click the little thing in the on James's Twitter, and he has me. If you want to find me, if you don't, I don't care either.
I think it's Walker Ragsdale. Some R's in there. And of course, Lacretia, you do your speech, girl. Tell them where they can find you on social media.
This is my favorite part.
Yeah, me too.
Yes. Well, since I'm Lacretia Lyon, guys, you can always find me at LACRETIALYON anywhere on the internet, since there is only one.
Only one, bitches. Only one. And of course, you can find me, James Lott Jr., where all James Lott Jr.'s are, at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms. Seriously, everywhere. Follow me on TikTok. I'm there too. Something I'm a star on there. It's like really weird. Follow me everywhere. JLJ Media is the company. JLJ Media is the website. JLJ Media is the.
And they always working. Always working.
I always like these. Yes, I do a lot. L-O-T-T. And I'm out there. And so I have all kinds of new projects out. I have new books out, new music out. Everything is out. So just go ahead and just Google my name. You'll find me. But everyone, thanks for watching the show. Let's all watch the Emmys, see what happens, and come back together again next week. Please be safe, take care, and wear a mask.